I see him as a fearless warrior within the Barbados Labour Party. A couple of years ago, he was very ill. Most people thought that he would have gone away from politics. Indeed, some of you might know that a week after surgery, in the estimates debate, he was brought down to the hospital. I think, Cindy, you remember this, so that he could participate and vote. And after the vote, was taken back to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. That is the nature of the next candidate, Trevor Prescod. But before I introduce Trevor Prescod, there's a character called Neil Holder, who is the leader of a party called Barbados Integrity Movement. And I stress integrity because I know when we speak of integrity, it has certain connotations, and those might not necessarily be associated with CLICO when Neil Holder was working there. Suffice it to say, this person, with or without integrity, had over 5 minutes on CBC Today to criticize and castigate the Barbados Labour Party because we were having meetings and because I believe Comrade Ronald Toppin had a motorcade. And that we were having all of these activities during Lent. And it meant that the Barbados Labour Party is non-religious and non-Christian. What nonsense! The last election, for the benefit of Neil Holder and all the others with integrity like him, was held on the 21st of February 2013. Ash Wednesday was the 13th of February 2013. Not only were there motorcades, there were cuss matches as far as the DLP was concerned. So what nonsense. And CBC can carry that for 5 minutes as a major news item. They need to go and check their library records. But they know what they're up to. Anyhow, enough of that. I want to bring to you, again I said, that fearless warrior, Trevor Prescod. And I'm sure the Dems are up there smelling around, have opened up a campaign office 2 Sundays ago. It hasn't been open since. But Trevor is going to ensure that he brings home St. Michael East to the Barbados Labour Party again. Give a round of applause for Trevor Prescod, the next representative. He'll be returned for St. Michael East.
One love. Let's stop here and say one common destiny. First of all, tonight, I want to thank Baba John, who tonight came here and in the African tradition give me the blessings of Him Most High. I want to thank Jerome, my brother, who stood by my side 2 years ago when I faced some major challenges with my health. I want to be also grateful to a special sister in this audience. And I know Dwight brought up a young lady, and I want to ask Baby Frey to come and stand by my side. There's a love, not a vulgar love. It is called agape. It is a love that you give to one, even if that one does not give it back to you. It's the love that I have in my heart for all of the good people within earshot of my voice. But more in particular, this young lady in 2008, when I faced defeat by Satan, a man called Kenny Best. This young lady said, well, if you can reject Trevor Prescod, I don't even want a job in the public service. And she left her job because of the rejection of me at the polls in St. Michael's East. Yes. And I want to tell you, I will be eternally grateful, for this relationship is inseparable. I love baby, and I will love her until eternity. Love you. Yes. Brothers and sisters, I am Homo sapien. I am thinking man. I am not going to be ungrateful to the contributions of my ancestors. So wherever I go, as long as there's breath in my body, the first people outside of Him Most High that I say thanks to is my ancestors, and I'll be forever grateful to the ancestors. Any serious Barbados Labour Party supporter must understand the roots of the institution. You must understand the journey we have taken in order to be where we are today. You must understand why women in this country today can stand tall like how men stand tall and be able to enjoy the adult franchise and go to the polls and vote, because it was a man called a man called Grantley Herbert Adams, who allow all of you women that stand in here within the focus of my vision and a shot of my voice gives you the right to vote, the Barbados Labour Party. And I want to tell you this. As I started to explain, and my speech was truncated here on this ground, just a little distance away some time ago. This party has an ideological foundation. It was established for a cause, not out of any contemptuous nature, any hate for anybody, or some ambitious person who could not be selected on the basis of any form of merit or credibility. This is not a joker institution. This is not a breakaway group. On the eve of the 1960s, broke up the mass support political organization, the only genuine political organization in Barbados is the Barbados Labour Party. I am saying that to you because I have traveled the length of all of them, and I have made the required evaluation to determine which one is the best. Look, this party understood how ideas are formed. We don't impose anything on anybody. It was born because the historic materialism of the period shaped the conceptions that were responsible for giving birth to this institution. It was born because we understand that for an institution to be legitimate, It has to be undergirded by philosophical and ideological groundings. I hear Jerome, probably I don't know what is Jerome's description of a political party, because I can't remember the name, some group called the Self Solutions. Some top-down organizations where some may believe that because they manage someone by force shot with one door and no windows, that they are managers. And because they are managers, they can manage the affairs of the state and respond to the needs and concerns of human beings. A man that got a little one-door shop with no air conditioning, not even a fan in the place. A foolish man that every minute he in debt, owing people that won't pay anybody. I want to think you can run a country. He knows how with foreign reserves. He knows how with a current account. He knows the difference in the balance of payments inside the current account and the balance of payments inside the balance of payments in relation to foreign reserves. You just got that way and running a little one-door shop. He ain't got one accountant, one financial controller, one PS, nothing. And he got a party. He should invite little Rick to come and play some music. Another buffoon walking about Browns Beach in her heel shoes called Lynette Eastman. She claims she has a party. Already, one of the members of the party that was a selected candidate, because the candidates, they got 8 candidates, and the candidates are selecting new candidates because they ain't got no membership. But they want to run a government. They ain't even got 15 people. So I don't, or 16, so how to get an election? And you know these big buffoons sitting down around a table discussing government and politics and saying that they're putting together programs. And you got a whole set of clowns running around this country saying, I belong to the UPP. Pup group. A puppy group. You know, these people like pup bad, you know. They went down on the South Coast and bailed pup. I hear it says an old man. Somebody's a young man. You know the can't one thing, nobody can say a shishi man, though. And certainly not Richard Seeley or Pilgrim, though. They can't call me the shishi man. What is the kind of people that you're dealing with? Clowns offering themselves to people. As I said to you, I am Homo sapien. And I hope that you are as well. It is simple. It means that man can think. And it distinguishes man from other living species. And that is what a human being is all about. That is why I reach out and reconnect with the ancestors. Because I'm not an ungrateful man. We could not be here if the ancestors did not fight, give up their lives even though they knew that they could not complete the revolution in their time. And that is what Buster did. He knew that the odds was against him, but he wanted to change the course of history to ensure that freedom comes to his own people. And he fought even when the British militia and the soldiers at the garrison were present and they had supreme weaponry. He fought against these people in 1816 for the liberation of our people. Even though he knew that he will die, he wanted to change things. You hear me? No. We are sanguine here And coming to my mind is a man called James Drax. To my right, there's a man and a family called the Lascelles. I'm telling you, I'm proud of all of you that are sensible and wise and can appreciate the importance of the analysis of history. Tonight we have two big, black, intelligent men as representatives in this constituency. You could not have it in the 17th century. You had a James Drax and the Lascelles, the cousins of Queen Elizabeth, owning lands all around here. The Bell Factory, Drax Hall. You know, these people never pay 5 cents for the land. They thief the land. And you know that they call it a grant. The crown gave the land to the people who claimed that they were settlers. As a result of the evolution, the gradual evolution of our history, we now have representatives in this constituency here in St. George who are the sons of former slaves in this country. We broke away from the plantocracy, and we are here now attempting to further develop a just society. You have to understand that journey to be able to respect what you are and who you are. To understand and appreciate Glenn Clark. To be able to understand Dwight up here. You could not vote. You were not even perceived as human beings. You could not get here without the efforts of your ancestors. And respect has to be given to the Confederation rights of 1876. Respect has to be given to the revolt of 1816. Respect has to be given to the revolt, not the riots. They attach a lot of foolishness to black people, and historians and so-called intelligent people call it a riot in 1937. A riot is when you get up, you don't know what you're doing, and you do foolishness, and you have no program for the future. 1937 was a revolt. A program was in place. Lord Mohn took the evidence from Barbados, and the ordinary people spoke to Lord Mohn about the challenges that they were facing in this criminal society then. Can you imagine piling all of these people telling the commission they throw thousands of gallons of milk down the gutter every day? And when Lord Mohn, a white man from Britain, asked the question, why don't you give the milk to the black people in the country? He said, black people don't like milk. Black people don't like milk. I want you to understand all of this, because I want you to understand the birth of this institution and its journey. This is no false crusade across Barbados. You have had people in the last 10 years that betray all of you. They are attempting to turn back the clock, and it must never be allowed to be turned back. Hope Stevens, a black Barbadian who gave a big library to the University of the West Indies by the name of Richard B. Moore. John Beckles, who had a soup kitchen. A man called Chrissy Braffett. Am I right to all of you who are post 50 years old? These men met on this soil and said it is time enough for us to have black leadership in this country. And as a result of a meeting at Martin New's house, a decision was made to form the Barbados Labour Party. It went from Barbados Labour Party to the Progressive Lead, and we came back on track with the Barbados Labour Party. This is the greatest party in the Eastern Caribbean. I don't want to talk to you yet about current issues, because people believe that you're not saying anything because there are a lot of ungrateful pygmies on the face of the earth, sitting down in armchairs and doing nothing when the day comes and accumulating wealth from extortion and bribery. So they don't want you to understand the importance of the course of history. But as a consequence of these intellectuals of the time, in the pre-colonial period and in the colonial period, these men said Grantley Herbert Adams was best fit for the job. This is the institution that we represent many moons thereafter, and it will go on and on till eternity, the Barbados Labour Party. I want you to understand, we now have culprits that want to impress upon you that they're doing something. So they talk to you about a project in St. Lucie called Pickering's Racketeering. Then the Four Seasons, racketeering. They'll give back concessions to the Turf Club, racketeering. The Cahill project, racketeering again. Mash up Clico, racketeering again. Look, you see that Clico project? This rebirth of the Democratic Labour Party in 2008, there were men who ran for that party that told me they will never run for the DLP as long as David Thompson is its leader. David Thompson was a red crook. No sympathy because he has died. The man was worse than Satan or Adolf Hitler. They mashed up an insurance company that probably 50% of you put your money in it. You still have to keep paying. Even when instructions was given by the public service, to the public service, in the oversight committee, not to sell policies, the criminality was so ingrained that they probably sold $1 million policies to people and took their money. People died prematurely as a consequence of stress. And now you got these same racketeers telling you we have a new company. We have a new company. You don't know that this man should be in the criminal court, You know $3.3 million. When all of this was being exposed, and that is all that you know about. they transfer $3.3 million to Thompson's Associates, a company owned by David Thompson. I said that the money was for Morris King. The money was sent from Clico to Thompson's Associates, then paid to a man called Paris as legal fees, an outlaw. A man who is an outlaw received legal fees, which went in transit from Clico back to the same. I ain't a lawyer. I ain't a lawyer. The court seized the $3.3 million. This rebirth of the DLP is grounded in criminality. And there are cosmological forces that surround them. Spiritual forces, external forces that surround them. There are a collective of demons. And they will continue to behave like how demons do. They have no heart, no compassion. But our people, because they don't understand frauds, when they see frauds, they send them to Parliament. They are now in Parliament. 5 years after 5 years is clearly stipulated in the Barbados Constitution. Understood by the statutory provisions in the People's Representation Act. Understood as well, not only by statute, by convention, by practice in this society, that a government has 5 years, one term, 5 years. It is not the United States of America where you have 4 years for 2 terms. It has 5 years, and then you come back to the people because we were trying to establish a democratic society, and we must abide by the principles of a democratic society. And that has not been done. What you think the thinkers of the 1930s, the thinkers on the eve of the 20th century, Sylvester Williams, George Padmore, Marcus Garvey, and those people were talking about. That's why we're this. And when I came here last time when I came on this platform and I saw Santia Bradshaw, I said, this is my sister, because we are bound and born together as a result of this red, black, and green symbols of Marcus Messiah Garvey. Because Garvey had the foresight in the act, where are our kings and queens? He was thinking about a monarchy then. And he said, I will help you to build them. And tonight, this political party is offering to you, outside of a monarchy, because we are no monarchy, we are subscribing to that foolishness. Whatever is required, we are de facto free sovereign state. And we offer to you the most distinguished queen in the form of Mia Amor-Mortley. Mia will make history. Mia will make history. There will be radical changes. And for all those who don't have the foresight, history always throws one person, or 2 or 3. That makes the difference in all at different junctions of its history itself. You could be in Europe, you will get a Karl Marx. You could be in the United States of America, you will get Roosevelt. You could be in Great Britain, you will get Churchill. And in Barbados, you will get Mayor Amor Motley. It happens like that. Don't even waste time trying to understand it, because you will never understand it because of the type of education that you have. But Mayor Motley will be the next Prime Minister of Barbados, and don't feel shame. Black, feel that she is yours. She is black and beautiful. And we want to build a just society. And that has always been the nature of our people. We are not racist. We don't hate anybody, but we know the truth. We know who said to us, you had no brain, you were a tabula rasa. We know who said to us, you had no persona because you were not human beings. We know who said to us, you are property. And if I want to get rid of you, I can get rid of you without facing a murder charge. So we know the truth. The same people who raped this constituency here and raped the bell over there had property in this country from the 17th century, 1630s, right down to the 1960s. The same group that I now tell you about, the Lascelles, was still in charge of the Bell Plantation. They left Barbados at the sugar barns and went up in Britain and became some of the most powerful men in the two houses of Parliament. They were powerful in the House of Lords, powerful in the House of Commons. There were politicians there. There were politicians here. They control the judiciary. They control the executive. They control the legislature. We changed that. Errol Barrow. That credit also must be given to for the cosmetic ceremonial independence of 1966. Errol Barrow. You hear the DLP talking about Grantley Adams? The period of history that they condemned Grantley Adams for, Errol Barrow was a member of the Barbados Labour Party. And it broke things down. Now, you know, sometimes some people believe I'm speaking on esoteric matters. But I want to get down to something that is parochial. Mayor Motley has given me the assurance. I don't mind the little lamb that is sent to the slaughter in St. Michael's East. A little boy who the fortunes of him being able to see a sixth form in a school came as a consequence of my efforts. I'll tell you the story as time goes on. A little boy that get down there with that big belly boy called Richard Seeley, a man who went through the back door at Harrison College, could not pass an exam to get into Edna Nichols School. The man got to spend about 15 minutes to join a few words together to make a sentence. By the time he get to the full stop, he can't remember what he said. A clown who became Deputy Prime Minister of Barbados. I don't want to talk about him tonight because they haven't given me enough time to talk about him. But I want you to know. Give me a break, Mary. I want you to know that I represent the people of the Bell. I represent the people of Lakeridge Village. I will give my life if I have to for these people. I represent the people in Roberts Road. in Haggett Hall, in St. Barnabas, part of the Pine, the Ivy, Martinique, Lakewood Village, all over Welchers, Salters, Hazelton Turning. I assume, on a rough calculation, there's about 18,000 to 19,000 people living in the belly of St. Michael's East. I am going to speak the truth, not just to you, but the truth to power. Who don't like it, lump it. They talk all kind of things to me, about me. Even a member of parliament, my friend Donville, said, "You're going to soon dead." I tell you the kind of human beings that you deal with, you know. I know so many people from in the DLP that is a major burden for the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. I never wish them anything like that yet, because I respect all types of human beings, all different social types, all different races in this society. I respect all, but when I have to tell you the truth, you will hear the truth. There are things that will be done. Baby said to me, "The light is on, boss." In other words, get down. Well, let me say this. Is she going to make me land like a helicopter tonight? But I'm going to come down. I just want to say to you, and I don't know if it's appropriate, but I want to quote Martin Carter, the distinguished poet who never left the shores of Guyana. He said, "That night, when I left you, I walked over the bridge. I put my ears to the ground, and I listened to those whispering voices. I want to tell you that I am not only inspired by who I see or hear, but I am inspired by the voices of the ancestors. And I want to tell you, I want to give thanks to the human race, to the civilization that we set about to develop the just society that we will continue to fight for. And I want you to know that Mayor Amal Motley and this collective group of people, these warriors, this battalion will take the Barbados Labour Party to victory whenever the election is called. Good night, and God bless all of you.
You heard the warrior. Fearless. The lion. Comrades, I'm moving on. St. George North. Glenn Clark, your son. But before I do that, Glenn has a masquerader, as I said earlier, in a contest against him, at least from the Democratic Labour Party. I know he has two other people running from the other, I don't know if we can call them parties after listening to Trevor. But Jephthah Ince, Senator Jephthah Ince. A very interesting gentleman. We talk quite a bit in the Senate. And Jephthah Ince is always speaking, in discussions with him, he has a tendency to be logical and even rational at times. He always speaks about his heritage and his attachment to agriculture and his father working in the sugar plantation. And ladies and gentlemen, over the last week or so, you were concerned about this cell phone bill, as they call it, cell phone act. But even more remarkable, towards the end of last year, the government passed